If you're excited for Chicago Bears training camp to finally get here, go ahead and like this video. I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. We have a Connor Williams update from his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. Thought he provided some interesting news and notes, and I thought we'd tie it into the Bears because I still think signing him is something they should consider. Here was basically the cliff notes here from Rosenhaus, who is his agent. Confirmed the report from Adam Schefter that he will be ready by week 1. Mentioned that several teams are interested in signing him and that he will be in a team's training camp. So he's going to sign with the team either before training camps begin or early on in training camp. He wants to be with a new team. Also, I think this is the main new stuff. He wants to play center because they asked him, hey, is there a shot you're going to re-sign with Miami? And Rosenhaus said it's unlikely because the Dolphins signed free agent center Aaron Brewer. So if they were to bring him back, it would be to play guard. Now, could something change? Could the Dolphins move Brewer to guard, or could Williams decide maybe he doesn't love the other options he has and he stays there for a year and plays guard? Perhaps, but Rosenhaus said that's unlikely and that his plan is to sign somewhere and be that team's center. I would sign Connor Williams if I were the Chicago Bears. I get it. You traded a 5th-round pick for Ryan Bates. You signed Coleman Shelton, but Shelton virtually has no guaranteed money. Bates has not played a ton at center, and unless you're just overwhelmingly confident that he's going to play at a high level, why would you not look into signing Connor Williams? And hey, guess what? Ryan Bates can be your top backup interior lineman, or maybe he even starts at right guard. We don't know what's going to happen with Nate Davis, and even if he comes in and plays well, we know that both Davis and Tevin Jenkins have injury concerns. Chances are Ryan Bates is probably going to be on the field, and at the end of the day, you traded a 5th-round pick for him. It's not like, if he's a top backup and maybe a starter next year with Jenkins set to be a free agent and Davis contract mostly not guaranteed. It's not like you're not going to get value out of him. And I just look at this center competition right now, which, by the way, kind of a subtle little note that I should have talked about more on this channel. It was kind of early on in this process. Bates is going to be the starter. Coleman would have to push him. But then Matt Eberflus and Chris Morgan both said, yeah, it's a center competition. So is Bates not doing what they want him to do, or is it been a competition from the start? Because it didn't seem like it was a hardcore competition. It kind of felt like, okay, Bates is the starter. Shelton's going to get a chance to compete, but he would have to really unseat Bates for that to happen. That kind of tells me, and again, it's early on, pads haven't gone on, that they don't love their options right now. Again, I still maintain it's better than Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair. How much better? I'm not exactly sure. Here's what I am confident in. Connor Williams, if healthy, even if he's 80% of what he was last year, would be a clear upgrade from what you currently have. I think we're projecting, and the Bears are projecting a decent amount, that Ryan Bates, if he starts, is going to be a high-level player. I think Ryan Bates is a great backup and a serviceable starter on an offensive line. That's what he's been in Buffalo. We've never seen him play at a high level. Now, it doesn't mean he can't get there, but here's my main reasoning with all of this. What, to me, is the most important thing about the 2024 season? Sure, would I love to make the playoffs and win a Super Bowl? Absolutely. Are you going to win a Super Bowl in 2024? Probably not. Yes, I still want to make the playoffs, and I think that should be the ultimate team goal. But to me, more important than anything else in 2024 is surrounding Caleb Williams with the best possible situation. Get him as much confidence early, develop him, and so he can hit the ground running and have a good rookie year. And then entering 2025, you feel like, hey, we got our franchise guy, something we haven't had in over a decade at this point, going back to Jay Cutler. And it's not like he was a high-level franchise QB. He was like a middle-of-the-road franchise QB. That's what this year is all about, is Caleb Williams going to be that guy for this team for the next 10 to 15 years? Well, let's give him the best chance to do so. I have concerns about the interior of this offensive line. I think the center position is below average for NFL standards, and it's been that way for years here. Why not sign Connor Williams, or at least bring him in for a medical checkup and see where he's at? That's what I would do. I'm guessing the Bears won't sign him, but I surely wish they would. What do you guys think? If you were in charge, what would you do? Should the Bears sign Connor Williams? Type S for sign or P for pass. Pin comment on today's video. I'm typing my S for sign. Let's talk Keenan Allen and a potential contract extension. Bleacher Report put out an article of one extension candidate for every team, and they have, or really one priority extension for every team, and they mentioned Keenan Allen for the Bears. Ryan Fowler says this: Allen, while 31 years old, can still get it done on the outside. While he'll be the elder statesman of the Bears receiving corps this fall, extending him would present the Bears with years of a trio that could be the best in football. Considering an extension also remains on the horizon for DJ Moore, free agent following next year in 2026. Utilizing the $21.6 million in current cap to lock up Allen would be wise of Ryan Poles. So coming up next, what would I do with Keenan Allen? Is this an extension I would prioritize right here, right now, before training camp even gets here? I'll tell you my thoughts on all of that. But first, we got some Rome Odunze jerseys available for you guys to purchase. Pick one up today, chatsports.com/Rome. We know he's going to be here beyond this year because he's got a 4-year plus a 5th-year option on a rookie contract. Chatsports.com/Rome. Represent Rome Odunze. Link is in the comments and in the description. I've kind of said this before. I'll say it again. I'm playing this out if I'm Ryan Poles. Unless Keenan and his camp come to you with a team-ish friendly 1-year extension type of deal, which there's no indication that'll happen. Keenan Allen refused to take a pay cut with the team he was with for 11 years. He also recently said the market just got reset. He just hired new agents from Clutch Sports. He's not taking a discount. So I'm going to play this out if I'm the Bears because Ryan Fowler said it, which is why I don't get his point of you should prioritize him right now. I understand the idea of having a trio long term, but you don't have to do it right now. You have to pay DJ Moore soon. That's got to be a bigger priority than Keenan Allen, considering he's 5 years younger. And you just drafted Rome Odunze in the top 10. If he balls out as a rookie, you've got more leverage than Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen. He's been one of my favorite players in the NFL for a long time. When they traded for him, I was amped, and I still am. But that doesn't mean you have to lock him up for 2 or 3 more years after this year. You can play this out. I think everybody freaks out on these extensions. You got to do it now. You got to do it now. You don't. Every circumstance is different. Every situation is not the same. You could play this out if you are the Chicago Bears. He's terrific. You see the numbers there. He's still a very good player, but he's going to be 32 this season. What if Rome Odunze comes in and is even better than expected? Matt Eberflus called him the most impressive player in mandatory minicamp. Now, we'll see when the pads go on, how he performs in the regular season. A lot of weapons on this offense. I'm not sitting here saying Odunze is going to have 1,200 yards, but is it completely out of the realm of possibility that he plays at a high level early and you're sitting up in the middle of the season Rome's one of your top 2 receivers? I wouldn't rule that out. So, again, the point is just you don't have to rush into extending Keenan Allen. You traded a 4th-round pick for him. And by the way, if you let him go in free agency, you can play the comp pick formula game. You could end up getting a 3rd or 4th back in the following year. And basically, you kind of just got a free year out of the guy. If that's the worst-case scenario, that's a pretty good scenario if you ask me. So I'm playing this out at least into the season a little bit, again, unless Keenan and his camp come to you with a reasonable deal on a short extension. Otherwise, I'm waiting. I'm not doing this right now. What would you do with Keenan Allen? Would you extend him? Do you agree with Ryan Fowler? Type E for extend, or would you wait? Agree with me. Type W for wait. I understand there's pros and cons to both, but I'm playing this out. I'm waiting this out. The second you drafted Rome Odunze, the totem pole kind of shifted back in the Bears' favor, if you will. All right, we will be live on Chicago Bears Now later this afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Time, with more discussion around this team. We'll have our latest Bears Madden simulation as Bears are 5-3 in our Madden sim, so trying to get to 6-3, so stay tuned for that. We'll be live here in a few hours, so subscribe and join us. All right, before we get out of here, we got a salary cap breakdown. Where the Bears sit right now, because we're talking Connor Williams, pass rusher, if they're going to sign somebody. Well, what's the cap situation? Well, here's where things sit. Per over the cap, just over $21.6 million in cap space. Remember, Caleb and Rome have not signed yet, so that's going to chop off $10 to $12 million. Should still have $11 to $12 million after that, which Doesn't sound like a ton because most teams want to enter the regular season with at least $5 million to have flexibility in season signings. Injuries pop up, we know that. But you also have several salary cap cut candidates. Like a Larry Borum would free up over $3 million. Travis Homer over $2 million. So you could get up from 10, 11, 12 million to 15, 18 to 20 pretty quickly, depending on the moves that you make. So, I think practically you probably have, 12 to 15 to work with, assuming you want to go into the season with 5 or so. So again, if you want to go sign a Connor Williams, if you want to go sign a Yannick Ngakoue, like you have the money to do so. So I did just kind of want to outline that as we're, just under a month away from the beginning of training camp. I expect 1 to 2 more signings, and I mean notable ones. Like obviously throughout camp, we see it all the time. There's, into the roster type of shuffling, roster spots 85 through 90. Like you get the pads on a couple of days in, it's pretty clear some guys don't belong, right? So they get cut and you bring in new guys that you're trying to shuffle in. But I do think at least 1 more notable signing, if not 2, will come between now and week 1. All right, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We will see you guys at 4 o'clock Central, so be sure to subscribe. See ya.